Hi, this is Kim from Dorothy's Daughter. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be sharing a little bit about independent designers, another focus, and this time it's on Love Notions, one of my very favorite companies. But first, have you subscribed yet? We would love to have you follow along with all of our antics here on Dorothy's Daughter. On Fridays, we do tutorials. On Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on the week, we do reviews, fit tutorials, just general sewing chit chat. We've talked about a lot of different things and we have a lot of fun things coming up. So please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and click the bell so that you get notified when I post a new video. Because we'd love to have you be part of our community. And we are building a community. And on that note, I have some viewer makes again to share with you today, and I will show those at the end of the video. But first, we're going to go ahead and get to our topic of the day, which is Love Notions patterns. I need to give you a full disclosure here, a disclaimer, is the fact that I am an ambassador for Love Notions patterns. The only reason I became an ambassador is because I love them. So it was the chicken before the egg. I'm not saying anything that is untruthful. I'm being completely honest in my reviews, to the point where, you know, if I do have something negative to say, I'm going to say it. And I'm also an affiliate, so I do have affiliate links where I make a little bit if you click on the link and buy the patterns. I needed to disclose that because, you know, it's just really important for you to know that I try very hard for my reviews on companies to not be based on anything like that. I join affiliate programs if any designer has them available, just because if I happen to make one of their patterns, it helps go to support this channel. So affiliate links are, you know, I'm not like pushing things just because of affiliate links. I'm joining affiliate programs because of the things I'm making. And as far as the ambassador team is concerned, I was invited to join this year, and I love being representing them just because I love their patterns so much. So I'm just giving that disclaimer because I probably am a little biased, but it's kind of hard not to be when you love something. And the love for Love Notions, the love for Love Notions came first. And I adore those patterns, and I adore the people behind it. They do an amazing job, and I'll talk to you more about why I think that, but you just need to know those things right up front, okay? It would be easier for me to say what I haven't made from their catalog of patterns than to show you what I've made. It's hard to go a day without even wearing something that's Love Notions. It's all through my wardrobe, and that's because they fit me so well and they just adapt to my lifestyle so well. Today I'm wearing a classic tee. I just kind of threw this together the other night. I literally can sew up one of their pieces of clothing before I can actually do laundry. So if that doesn't inspire you to make them, nothing will. I'm just going to show you a simple little graphic of things that I made in 2019, and this is not even all of them, but just a few favorites that I had, and I'll just highlight a couple of those for you. Here's the graphic of what I made in 2019, and like I said, it's not even all of them. The Cadence Dress, we had a little sew along in Friday Sewing School with the Cadence Dress. Summer Basics is one of my very, very favorite dresses. That's the second from the right, and also down that whole column in the first column underneath the Cadence Dress. And I participated in testing the boys' sprint pattern. That's my little grandson in that finished project. I made Melody Dolman with my favorite Beatles fabric, which I did a video on as well. That shirt underneath there is the sprint as well. I did a video on the Presto Tunic with my friend Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles. So I'm going to try and put the links up here, cards up here to show you to direct you to these videos, because I have a lot of videos that are just of Love Notions, things that I've made. Below that is a Canyon cardigan. That one you saw on the Minerva blog. Below that is a Rhapsody blouse, also on the Minerva blog. Below that is my husband's game day t-shirt. I was also tested that. And that is his final product. The vest there, that belongs to my nephew's little girl, and I made her the acorn vest, which is a mini version of the ladies Oakley, which I've yet to make, but I have fabric and plans to do that. Underneath that is a classic tee, similar to what I have on, only that is a long sleeve version. Underneath that is a same pattern, only a 3/4 length sleeve version. Underneath my purple and lace classic tee is a dockside Henley that I made for my son. And then at the top of the very last column is another dockside Henley that I made for my son-in-law. These were Christmas gifts. And underneath that are 3 boyfriend cardigans that I made for my granddaughters. Each one with fabric that meant something to them. So butterflies for the oldest, horses for the youngest, and the middle, Naomi, just loves anything teal. So that was part of their Christmas. So just to show you, those are only a few of my very, very favorite patterns. And one of them not pictured here is the Tessa sheath dress. And then you can also combine that with the Sybil Illusion skirt. So the Tessa, I'm going to put a picture here. The Tessa here is, this one was a Christmas dress, and I just did a lace overlay, and I loved that dress so much. It was just one of my favorite. I actually wore it again this year for Christmas because I didn't find time to make my own dress this year because I had so much sewing to do. And then I also made a Tessa with the Sybil Illusion skirt. I did the drop waist version, connected the skirt to the pattern, and it was wonderful. So that is kind of an overview of what I've made, although there's many, many. Not pictured here are Sabrina Slims, which was the very first Love Notions pattern that I made, and they're some of the best fitting pants that I've ever had. I am working now in the testing group for the re-release of Sabrina, and that's going to be sometime in the next couple weeks, and I'll be sure and share those when the pattern comes out. But I'm loving them. I'm really loving them. They're extending their sizes, and I applaud them for that, because size inclusion is one of the big things in patterns today. All right, so on with the ratings. So the first rating area is current style and wearability. Well, these clothes, the reason that I have so many in my wardrobe is because they are so wearable. They're comfy. They are as at home in a professional office as they are on a stay-at-home mom. They just adapt to lifestyle. You can vary the fabrics that you make them in. They go together quickly. They're just very, very wearable. And so I obviously gave them a 20 for this, 20 points for that, which is the most you can do on that category. I just don't have a bad thing to say. They're very current. I believe that Tammy is always looking for ideas and current trends, and they stay up with the times. And yet, as an older woman, it's not just trendy teen clothes. It's for the real woman, and that's one thing I just adore. That's probably the biggest thing that I adore Love Notions for, is that they're for real women. They're not designs that you're only going to see in New York, or or even just dressed up every day at an office. They're clothes that you're going to see on everyday women, and I love that about them. And of course, they're not just for women. There are children's patterns. I've made many of them as well, and boys patterns and men's patterns. So quite a few, and they even have a doll pattern, I think, thrown in there. So many. They're very versatile. Rating area number 2 was different view options and versatility. Some of the patterns have so many options. It's really quite incredible. The Rhapsody blouse is one that I think of. I'm not sure how many sleeves. Lots of different sleeve options, and just incredible. Just you can make it, 10 times and not have anything look alike. So really, really nice. The Sybil Illusion skirt comes to my mind as being the most versatile because there are just so many different kinds of skirts you can make with that pattern. And then if you take that and combine that with the Tessa, there are tons and tons of dresses that you can make. So I would say versatility, they definitely get the full 20 points from my point of view. Number 3, quality of instructions. There I gave them 15. Not that they're terrible or difficult in any way, but I do find the instructions from designers who use photographs to be just a little easier to follow. That might just be a preference on my end and not necessarily something that is a bad thing for others. So just it's just something to note if you prefer photographs to that. However, they do have a lot of video instructions. So when you combine the illustrated instructions with the videos, you really have everything you need. But since they don't have my favorite way, I did take 5 points off. So they got a 15 in that area. And the quality of the instructions is just wonderful, and the drafting. I don't think that there are very many patterns that are drafted, like I said, for real women as well. She just normally always has full bust pieces for the front, and you have all these options for things like that, and lots and lots and tons of help on fit on their website. Their pants have instructions on how to fit pants, so you can learn a lot through using that. And there's just so much help available that besides the fact that they're just drafted really, really well. I very rarely have to make that many adjustments to them. I sometimes personally, for me, I have a long torso, so I personally will lengthen the bodice of many of them and shorten the rise on the pants because I have a short rise. Other than that, sometimes I do a narrow shoulder adjustment depending on the pattern. Although many of them I don't. I did not on this classic tee, and I feel like it fits really well. The shoulder seam is coming right where it needs to be. Overall, it's pretty good. Occasionally I do, if it's something that gapes a lot in the front, I sometimes need to bring those shoulders in just to keep it from going this way and that way. Number 4 is size inclusion, and I gave them the full 20 points for that. I know that they're working very, very hard to add the extended sizes to patterns that they already had, and the new ones have up to like 5X. So they are working very hard to make those inclusive of larger sizes. So they go from extra small to 5X for the ones that have been updated. Now the Sabrinas that are coming out, I think, are going up to size 32. So, which is really good because there aren't that many companies that go up that high. I'm on the border between regular and plus size, but as a curvy woman, I really appreciate that so much because, like I said, they're made for real women. So kudos on the size inclusion that they're doing right now. And number 5, do they have an active online community and sew-alongs and those kind of things? They have tons of sew-alongs. Kelly is one of the people who does their sew-alongs, and she does an amazing job. Just there's help on almost anything that you can imagine. If you can't find it anywhere, there's the Facebook group, and there are a ton of people who have been sewing for a very long time who can help answer your questions. So I really feel like it's a nice, safe, wonderful place for a beginner to start. So if you're a beginner, these are great patterns to start with. which is why when I started Friday Sewing School, the very first pattern we did was the Cadence. It was just had a ton of techniques to learn, and yet it was simple enough for a first project. So, but I will say that they also have patterns that can challenge even somebody who's been sewing a long time like me. You know, they have a fully lined coat and other patterns that will, you know, challenge you and aren't just easy peasy. So it has something for everyone and room to grow. There are a lot of choices there, but there's tons of help, like I said. So the last rating area is price. And I gave them a 20 on that. They don't have a lot of sales throughout the year, but when they do, they're amazing. So their patterns range from, you know, the $8 range to like the $10, $12 range. I really can't exactly remember at this point, but they do have sales a couple times a year, but not a lot. But when she does have one, it's a good one, okay? And they also have feature Fridays. They'll have Fridays where a certain pattern will be just $5 for that day. They're most Fridays, I wouldn't say all, but they have some Fridays that they don't have any. But for the most part, you can usually catch a feature Friday and catch one of their patterns for $5. And as well, the classic tee is always $5, and that's just a great pattern to have. And their laundry day tee, when you join their Facebook group, you'll get access to that one for free. So they do have a free pattern that you can try out, which is the laundry day tee. So that is my overview of Love Notions. Right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 Love Notions things cut out on my cutting table as we speak. So yes, they are very, very wearable clothes. And that's probably what I love about them the most. That, and they fit a real woman. I'm going to go ahead and give you Tammy's answers that she sent back to me for some of the questions. So I asked her, what type of woman do you design for? And she said, I design for the typical hourglass shape and 5'5" height. I also include pattern fitting tips as much as possible so anyone can get a good fitting pattern even if they're not an hourglass. Number 2 was, which was your favorite pattern? And she said, oh man, that is a hard one. Usually, whichever new pattern I'm working on is my favorite. From the past year, I think the Melody Dolman was my favorite to create. Right now, I'm working on an update to the Sabrina Slims that's making me really excited. I'm actually very excited with her on that one because I think you're really going to love those pants. Number 3, what would you like my viewers to know about your patterns? And she said, my goal is to always offer easy to use and easy to wear patterns that you can both look and feel great in, from the rookie sewist to the seasoned professional. And number 4, how can people find out about new releases? And she said the Facebook group, Love Notions Pattern Support, is a very active and encouraging community. I would love to see everyone in. And the newsletter is also a great connection point. So to join their newsletter, just simply go to their website and they have a sign up there. So Love Notions gets a 115 out of 120. So check them out, and I will put links down below to a few of my favorite patterns, plus just a general link that you can shop. And now for the Viewer Makes section of the video. First of all, Granny Janny sent us a beautiful journal cover, and this she used the tutorial that I had up during the Christmas videos. And I can't imagine any kid not being thrilled with something like that. Just beautiful. So I will put that video up here so you can find those instructions if you didn't get a chance to see that. And Chamomile Stitch on Instagram also sent us a picture of this gorgeous shirt dress that she made. And it is Simplicity 8384, and it's just beautiful. She said that was her very favorite make of 2019. So send us your makes. I would love to share them on the air. We're all in this together. We all learn from each other. I have learned so much through the comments from people and just recommendations on new pattern companies and all kinds of things. This is a community, so feel free to comment and send me email. The link is down there. Send me your makes. And let's do this together, because sewing can be a really lonely hobby if you're just doing it yourself, because there's not a lot of people left to have it as a hobby. So we have to band together. So let's do this together. So if you haven't subscribed, you can also hit that subscribe button so that you can know what's going on in this wonderful community that we're building. Coming up at the end of this week is our second video of swimsuits. We're doing Here Comes the Sun, and it's the swim and beachwear roundup. Video number 2 is going to be all about the coddle sew from Megan Nielsen, and the techniques I hope to teach you in there are the placement of the cups and how to put them exactly where you need them. And also, I want to show you how you measure yourself for a bathing suit, particularly a one-piece bathing suit. So I will see you then. Until then, happy sewing!